Cam got hit.
What up, folks? CJ here. I'm just getting out of seeing Hotel Artemis. Kind of, been driving for about a solid 10 minutes trying to get my thoughts about this movie. So, Hotel Artemis, a movie that stars Jodie Foster, Brian T. Henry, Sterling K. Brown, Jeff Goldblum, Charlie Day, Sophia Boutella, and Dave Bautista, and Zachary Quinto. Hotel Artemis is one of those movies where you have this, where the trailers and the TV spots present one type of movie, and what you end up getting, well, let me back up. It presents one type of movie where, I remember when I saw the trailer drop, it came off like it was on some like, hey, let's take the premise of the hotels from John Wick and expand on it a little bit and stuff. So Sterling K. Brown and Brian T. Henry play brothers who rob a bank, and Brian T. Henry's character takes a pen from this guy from said bank. In the middle of them escaping from said bank heist and such, Brian T. Henry gets shot, and Sterling K. Brown has to call this hotel called Hotel Artemis, which is ran by Jodie Foster, who basically, the hotel is there to, it's kind of a secret hotel, and they help patch up criminals and such. In the midst of them doing that, when they get to the hotel, they run across a couple of characters like Charlie Day's character and Sophia Boutella. Dave Bautista plays one of the nurses that helps out Jodie Foster's character, help patching up the criminals and such. And in the middle of that, you got Charlie Day, who his character is like an arms dealer and such, and he's like at odds with Sophia Boutella, who has ulterior motives while being at said hotel and such. So you have all this set up and such. In the middle of Brian T. Henry being patched up, Sterling K. Brown finds the pen, and we come to find out the pen belongs to this criminal group that's led by Jeff Goldblum and Zachary Quinto playing his son. Now, and of course shenanigans ensues and things like that. Now, the thing about it is, you have the first two acts of this movie that basically set the tone for this build-up, right? We have a plot. We have a reasoning for why said plot is going in that direction. And then when it gets around to the third act is where the movie kind of doesn't live up to the hype of what it was building up to. And it goes back to what I was saying in the aspect of, like, there was something off about this movie. Normally, I'm a fan of these type of films because the thing of it is about this film is that the backdrop for it is supposed to be in this future and stuff. In the future of this kind of, it feels like it's on some Purge-like status and stuff. I mean, we're coming off of a lot of these kind of sci-fi movies and stuff. I just saw Upgrade a few weeks ago, and that kind of had like a very dirty future kind of feel to it as well. And this movie kind of has that same feel as well, but like the future that is being presented, it surfaces to the plot, but like in terms of the background, because this movie also takes place in the future in LA. And there's a bit of kind of like, the whole thing of the poor kind of bucking back, because in the midst of all this stuff that's happening at this Hotel Artemis, we're getting this little background information about this future and stuff where, the big bad government is like shutting off the water, and, the people are pushing back, and there's rioting and things like that. And, at certain points, it serves as a backdrop for certain things that happens to the hotel and such, because, outside aspects of it and such. But it's just that. It's just a backdrop and stuff. It exists, but it's not the driving point and stuff. And sometimes the movie tends to cut to that as though we're supposed to care, but we don't really, honestly. But back to the movie itself, it's one of those situations where you get this build up, and like I said, it ties into what I was saying about the trailers and the TV spots, and the fact that you're thinking that this movie's going to be A, and turns out, and then when you watch, actually, you feel the movie is going to turn out to be A when you watch the trailers and TV spots. Then when you're watching the movie, you're thinking it's going to turn into B, which is fine, but then the movie ends up being C, which is essentially a movie that doesn't live up to the build-up that it's doing and such. There are certain plot points in this film that they throw out there, but then we don't get no sort of explanation for. We don't. It's there and it just disappears. There are certain things that we're thinking they're going to touch on, but they don't touch on. In particular, Jodie Foster's character, we get a bit of background on how she got to where she is, where she's running this Hotel Artemis, which it's interesting in and of itself. It is interesting and stuff, a bit, it's a bit, like I said, it's an interesting backstory into how she became where she is and stuff. It's particularly, like I said, her running Hotel Artemis. The whole plot point with Sofia Boutella and stuff, it exists, it's there, but like I said, the build up to it is like, okay. And like I said, even the overarching build up for some of these plot points, it's just like when the movie reaches that third act, it's to me where it drops the ball. Now, if you want to take the movie as a whole and stuff, when the movie goes in on its action, the movie nails its action. Let's not get it wrong. I think particularly Sofia Boutella and Batista do their thing with the action and stuff. Sterling K. Brown acting his ass off and stuff. Brian T. Henry acting his ass off and stuff. A lot of characters have good camaraderie with one another. Like I said, Sterling K. Brown and Brian T. Henry, they have very good camaraderie as brothers. Sofia Boutella and Sterling K. Brown have a pretty good connection and camaraderie and chemistry a bit and stuff, which I gotta be honest, I would love to see a movie with those two, with those two in a lead role. That would be awesome. That would be dope. Jodie Foster, again, she does a very good, phenomenal job as her character and stuff, particularly when it comes to her quirks and stuff, because she has a very kind of nervous, she's very nervous when it comes to going outside. That's her character's kind of quirk and stuff. She doesn't like going outside and stuff, and like I said, it's tied into her backstory a bit, and like I said, it works, it's interesting, and it does whatever it needs to sit there and do. So, Jeff Goldblum is in this movie. He does his best Jeff Goldblum and stuff. I mean, it's what you expect. Zachary Quinto is there. He does a pretty good job. Like I said, all these people that are acting, they do their job. It's just the movie ultimately doesn't pay off on this build-up that he's doing. Like I said, when he gets to that third act is where you're like, so, like I said, suffice to say, like I said, the movie overall once that third act comes and goes, it's like, that was it, that kind of thing. So, take it for what it is. That being said, like I said, I will definitely, give the movie it's a 6 out of 10. Ultimately, it's not a disappointing movie, but like I said, it's entertaining and stuff. But it's just when the movie reaches that third act, it doesn't pay off on the build-up that it's doing and such. And while I can appreciate what the director was trying to do, I think the director was hold up for a second. Director was, I believe, I'm trying to think, Drew Pearce. That's what it was. Drew Pearce is a director, and from what I remember, Drew Pearce, he's done small things. I think he helped write some of the stuff for Iron Man 3 and things like that. So this is his first kind of directorial debut. So, like I said, it shows and such. Like I said, if you're gonna check out this movie, like I said, don't just take it for what it is and stuff. I feel the trailers and the TV spots kind of paint this movie as being one thing, and then you're gonna end up getting another and stuff. And while that's fine and well, it's just ultimately overall it kind of made for a very like, that happened kind of experience, at least for me in particular. So it's a 6 out of 10. Hey, check it out if you can. But like I said, honestly, I feel you should just go check out Ocean's 8 and stuff. And like I said, again, not a bad movie. It's just ultimately, despite the good acting from everybody in this movie, and like I said, I feel everybody did bring it and stuff. Like I said, Jodie Foster, she does her thing. She acts. She does her job. Like I said, I love the character and a little bit of backstory and stuff. It's just overall the story, for all that it built up, it just kind of fell flat once it hit that third act. So like I said, 6 out of 10. That's Hotel Artemis, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.